say, we'd like to pick up the car we had reserved. She looked at the car, ran into the machine, looked back there and said, Huckabee for president. She said, Huckabee for president. President of what? Now, things got a little better toward the end. Folks tended to recognize me a little more. And by the time it was all over, I go to airports now and people come up, aren't you Governor Huckabee? And sometimes they'll say, I'd like to have a picture made, or would you sign this for my son? And sometimes they just say, boy, I'm sure glad you didn't get nominated. So you have all kinds, but at least there's a recognition factor. Now sometimes that's good. But sometimes people look at me and they know they're supposed to know me, but they just can't quite figure it out. They're not sure if I ran for president or sold them life insurance last year. But they recognize me from something. Now, some of the actual encounters that I've had over the past couple of months, one happened in the Seattle airport when a couple asked, was I the TV anchor for the local news in Atlanta, Georgia? I just looked at them and I said, no. I was asked by a gentleman in Salt Lake City, changing planes there, wasn't I the guy that worked with him up in Ogden, Utah, at the factory? When I told him, no, sir, that wasn't me. And I didn't have the heart to say, no, sir, I just ran for president. I didn't work in your factory. I just said, no, sir, I don't believe I ever worked there. He said, oh, yes, you did. Yeah, you worked up there with me. Okay, right. I worked up there with you. You know it. I don't. So how did I do? Coming out of Atlanta on a plane, I was in the aisle seat. Big guy sitting next to me in the middle seat. People were coming down the aisle, and many of them were saying, hey, Governor, good to see you. Good run. And most of them said what I know is not true. I voted for you. Hey, if all the people who claim to have voted for me actually had done so, I'd be the nominee and the next president by now. People were coming by and they were saying hi, and this guy kept looking and he was trying to figure out, okay, I know this guy must be a governor because they keep calling him that, and something about some race he's run. And he looked over and finally, I could see out of the corner of my eye this sort of grin come across his face, and I swear, this is what he did. He turned to me and says, hey, I know who you are. You're Mitt Romney.